In our lesson today, we're going to look at a number of areas that involve percents and money. And the first thing that we're going to look at is discounts. You, as the consumer, pay the original price, which is called the retail price. A discount is money that you subtract from the original price. Okay, when there's a discount, it means it's on sale, so you're going to subtract the discount from the original price. You find the discount by knowing the rate of discount. Okay, in our problems, the rate's going to be written as a percentage. But when we use this equation, okay, discount is a percent of the original price. Our percentage, we're going to change into a decimal. Okay, in order to find the sale price, you do the original price minus the discount. So in our first example, we have a Yankee jersey, and the original cost is $89.95. And for obvious reasons, the Yankee jersey is 35% off. What is the sale price? Okay, we're going to show how we can get to the sale price two different ways. Method number one, the first thing we're going to do is calculate the discount. So we'll start by writing this discount equation. Discount is a percent of the original quantity. Okay, well, we know the rate of discount right here. It's 35% off. In decimal form, that's 35 hundredths. And we know the original price right here is $89.95. And we're going to calculate the discount, so I'll use the variable D. To get the answer, all I have to do is multiply 35 hundredths by 89 and 95 hundredths. And when I do that, I get the answer 31 and 4,825 ten thousandths. So let me write that in. 31 and 4,825 ten thousandths. Now, you're finding a discount. Discount has to be money. This answer can't be money because it's got more than two decimal places. So we're going to round that to the nearest hundredth. This number is approximately, it looks like 48 hundredths. That 2 in the thousandths place is not enough to round us up. So it would be 31 and 48 hundredths. So that is the discount. The discount is $31.48. Now we need to get the sale price. Remember, we take the original and subtract off the discount. The original was $89.95. Subtract off the discount, $31.48, and that will leave you with your sale price. So if we do $89.95 minus $31.48, we get an answer of 58.47. 58 and 47 hundredths, and this is the sale price. The sale price is $58.47. Okay, now that's just one way that we can find the sale price. Again, we calculated the discount and then we subtracted. We did it in two calculations. Okay, we also learned that if we're having a percent decrease, which is what a discount is, a 35% off, that's a 35% decrease, we can find the percent that still remains. Okay, if we start with 100% of the price, and we take away 35% of the price, then we're still going to pay 65% of the price. Okay, and that is equal to the decimal 65 hundredths. If I find 65 hundredths of the original price, that'll get me to the sale price in one step. So I can say that the sale price is equal to a percentage of the original price. The sale price is going to be 65% of the original price, which was $89.95. And I'll use S as my variable. To get our answer, all we're going to do is multiply. Okay, we're going to do 65 hundredths multiplied by 89 and 95 hundredths. And there is our decimal, 58 and 4675. But again, this has to be money, so we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth, 46 hundredths. But in the thousandths place, there's a 7 to round us up to 58 and 47 hundredths. So once again, the sale price is going to be $58.47. Okay, so whichever method we use is going to be fine. Okay, we can either start by finding how much the discount is and then subtract from the original price to get the sale price, or you can figure out the percent that you're actually going to pay of the original price, and that will get you to the sale price in just one step. In our second example, we have an iPad. A new version of iPad is coming out. An old iPad regularly costs $499. There's a 30% off sale in the store. What is the sale price? Okay, so again, we're going to show this two different methods. Again, find the discount first and then subtract it, or find the percent that you pay and then use that to get you to your sale price. Let's start with method number one. Find the discount first. Discount is a percent of the original price. The rate of discount right there, it's 30% off, as a decimal is 3/10. And the original price is $499. So let's calculate D, the discount. To get our answer, all we're going to do is multiply 3/10 times 499, which gives us 149 and 7/10. 149 and 7/10. Okay, so this must mean that the discount is $149.70. Remember, money has two decimal places, so we should add a zero there. Now to get the sale price, we're going to take the original, which was $499, and subtract off the discount, $149.70. 499 minus 149.70, and that gives us $349.30. Okay, so this is the sale price. Sale price equals $349.30. Okay, but that was just method number one. The other method, again, find the percent that you pay and then use it. Okay, so 100% of the price was $499. 30% off, we're going to subtract 30%. That means we're still going to pay 70%, which as a decimal is 7/10. Okay, so sale price is equal to a percentage of the original cost. All right, we're still paying 70% as a decimal, that's 7/10, times the original price, which was $499. And that'll give us the value of S. 7/10 times 499. S equals 349 and 3/10, which again means that the sale price is $349.30. The next area involving money and percentages that we're going to look at is taxes. Here's our tax equation. A tax is always a percentage of the subtotal. A tax is a part of your purchase that will be added onto the price. Okay, whenever you're at the cash register at the store, the price is usually a little bit higher than what it said on the original item because they have to add in tax. The tax does not belong to the store owner. It belongs to the town, county, and state governments. Okay, our process is always the same. The first thing that we have to do is add the purchases so that we know what the subtotal is. Then we'll set up our tax equation. And remember, once you know the amount of tax, you add that to the purchase price. Remember, with money, that you're rounding to the nearest penny, which again is the nearest hundredth. You go to Crossgates and buy 3 items: a sweater for $29.95, jeans for $56.95, and sneakers for $75. Tax in Albany County is 8.5%. How much will you pay with tax? So again, we're going to do this 2 different ways. Okay, regardless of the way that we do it, though, we have to start by finding the subtotal. Add the purchases. So here they are. We had $29.95 and $56.95 and $75, which gives us a subtotal of $161.90. So this right here is the subtotal. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, method one, we're going to calculate the tax first. Tax is a percentage of the subtotal. That's the tax equation. And we know the tax rate in Albany County is 8.5%, which is the same as 8 5/10%. Move that decimal to the left twice, and that'll give you the decimal 85 thousandths. So that's going to be our tax rate, 85 thousandths. The subtotal we just said was $161.90, and we're going to calculate T, the amount of tax. So to get the value of T, we have to multiply 85 thousandths by $161.90. And we get 13 and 7,615 ten thousandths. But remember that tax is money. This can't be our answer because we've got to round it to the nearest hundredth. 76 hundredths. That one isn't enough to round us up, so we'll keep it at 13 and 76 hundredths. So the tax would have to be $13.76. Remember now that you add the tax to the purchase price or the subtotal. We had 161.90 plus 13.76. And if we add these totals together, that's going to give us $175.66. This is the total. Okay, the total cost after we add in, the total equals $175.66. Okay, so now that's just one way that we could do this. Again, two calculations, calculate the tax and then add it on. The other method that we could do is find the percentage that we're actually going to pay and multiply by the subtotal. All right, so to get the total this time, okay, we're going to have to do a percentage of the subtotal. Okay, and again, we knew the subtotal was $161.90. The total price is what we're looking for. And if we have our percentage here, well, let's think about what we had to pay. Okay, we had to pay all $161.90 plus an extra $13.76. Okay, so the subtotal, 161.90, we have to pay 100% of that price. Plus the tax, remember that was an extra 8.5% of the price, 8.5% of the subtotal, which means our total price here was 108.5% of the subtotal. Okay, so if my percentage is 108.5%, move the decimal 2 times to the left, I'm going to multiply 1 and 85 thousandths by my subtotal, and this will get me to the total price. Okay, so if we do 1 and 85 thousandths times $161.90, we get 175 and 6,615 ten thousandths. But remember, with money, we've got to round to the nearest hundredth. 66 hundredths, that one is not enough to round us up. So we're going to keep it 175 and 66 hundredths, which means, again, that the total price is going to be $175.66. So once again, the method that you choose is up to you. Calculate the tax first and then add it on to get the total, or determine what your percentage is that you're going to pay of the subtotal and multiply, and that'll get you to the total price in just one step. In our next example, we're going to put discount and tax together. You want to buy a bike, but you wait for it to go on sale. A bike that's $219 goes on sale for 15% off. What is the total cost, including a 7% sales tax? All right, so notice that there's two different things that we're looking at. We have a 15% discount and we have a 7% sales tax. All right, I can't do all of this in just one step because my percentages aren't going to be based off of the same value. The 15% off is going to be based off of this original price of $219. But the sales tax is going to be on the price that we pay for the bike after the discount. We're no longer going to pay $219 for the bike after the discount. So I'm going to break this up into two different steps. I'm going to first calculate the sale price. And if I remember from before, I can do that in just one step. If I say the sale price is a percent of the original price. Okay, now remember, if something is 15% off, that's a 15% decrease. So 100%, which is 1, minus 15%, which is 15 hundredths, means that we're going to be paying 85% or 85 hundredths of the original price. So for my rate, I'm going to use the decimal 85 hundredths, and I'm going to multiply it by the original price of $219, and that's going to give me S, which is the sale price. So to get our answer, all we have to do is multiply 85 hundredths times 219. 85 hundredths times 219 comes out to be 186 and 15 hundredths. 186 and 15 hundredths, and that right there is the sale price. The sale price equals $186.15. Okay, now I'm ready to figure out what the total cost is when we include our tax. So the total cost is going to be a percentage of the subtotal. All right, and again, our subtotal is now $186.15. That's the price we're going to pay for the bike after the discount. Okay, so I'm going to use 186 and 15 hundredths as my subtotal. I'm trying to determine the total cost, and I need to again figure out what the percentage is going to be. Well, I have to pay all 100% of the sale price, and I have to pay 7% of the sale price to represent as my tax. So if I do 100% plus 7%, that's going to be 107%, which as a decimal is 1 and 7 hundredths. So if I do 1 and 7 hundredths times the sale price, that's going to give me my cost, including the tax. Okay, so let's figure out what that's going to be. 1 and 7 hundredths times $186.15, and I get 199 and 1,805 10,000ths. But remember, our money can't have 4 decimal places, it can only have 2. 18 hundredths, that 0 can't round us up. This is approximately 199 and 18 hundredths. And so that we can say now that the total cost after the discount and including tax is going to equal $199.18. Notice that I did this in 2 calculations. I found the sale price in one step. I found the total cost in one step when I figured out with the tax. You could have just as easily done this in 4 steps. You could have calculated how much the discount is first and then subtracted that from 219 to get your sale price. Then you could have figured out how much the tax is going to be and then add that on to the subtotal to get your total cost. Either method is fine. The next area that involves percentages and money is something called a gratuity. A gratuity is another way of saying a tip. All right, this is the tip equation, the gratuity equation. The tip is always a percentage of the original bill. A gratuity is a tip given to a waitress or a waiter or a service person in thanks for good service. A tip is a percent of the bill. Okay, so the gratuity is going to be a part of the bill, which is why we see it in the part spot in part equals percent times whole. All right, the tip is part of the bill. The tip is always added onto the price that you're going to pay. All right, so we're told that Mary went to dinner and spent $36. The tax is 7.5% of the bill, and she wants to leave an 18% tip. How much does she spend in all? So again, we have 2 different methods. All right, method 1, method 2. We're going to first do method 1 where we calculate the tax and then calculate the tip and then figure out what the total cost is going to be. So why don't we start with the tax? Tax, again, is a percentage of the subtotal. All right, and they told us that the tax rate is 7.5%, which is 7 5/10%. Move the decimal back to the left twice, and we're going to get 75 thousandths as our rate. Mary's subtotal was $36, so we're going to calculate T, the amount of tax. Okay, so let's do 75 thousandths times 36, and that gives us an answer of 2 7/10. 2 7/10, which means that the tax is $2.70. All right, now I'm ready to calculate the tip, the gratuity. The tip is a percentage of the bill. All right, Mary wants to leave an 18% tip. 18% as a decimal is 18 hundredths. The bill, okay, well, for the tip, all right, I had a $2.70 tax, but I'm not going to add that to the bill yet. The reason why is because if I add that to the bill and then use that cost right here when I calculate the tip, The tip, I'm not only tipping the waiter and the waitress, but I'm also tipping the tax, which goes to the government. So in essence, you would be tipping the government, and that doesn't need to happen, okay? Make sure that when you calculate the tip, it's always off of the original bill before tax, which was, in this case, $36. We're calculating how much the tip is going to be. I'm not going to use T again because T was my tax. Remember that a tip is called a gratuity, so let's use the variable G. G equals 18 hundredths times 36. If we do 18 hundredths times 36, we get 6 and 48 hundredths. 6 and 48 hundredths, and this is the tip. The tip is $6.48. Now remember that the tax gets added and the tip gets added. So we're going to start with the bill, which was $36. We're going to add the tax. We're going to add the tip. And when we do that, well, if we do $6.48 plus $2.70 plus the bill was $36, we get 45 and 18 hundredths. So the total in this example is $45.18. Okay, that is the total cost, including tax and tip. Okay, so that's method one. And we actually did 3 calculations, one for the tax, one for the tip, and then to add it all together. Method number 2, we can do this actually in just one step. Okay, so in this example, the total bill is going to be a percentage of the subtotal. All right, so in this example, we're looking for the total bill, and we know the subtotal was $36. For the percentage, all right, notice that the tax was based off of $36, and the tip was also based off of $36. So $36 was 100% of the bill. The tax was 7.5% of the bill, and the tip was 18% of the bill. They're all based off of the same $36, so you can add all of those together. 100% plus 7.5% plus 18% is 125.5%. Move that decimal to the left twice, and for our rate, we're going to use 1 and 255 thousandths. Okay, when all of the parts are based off of the same amount, you can actually add those percentages together and use that as your rate. So if we punch into our calculator 1 and 255 thousandths times 36, well, there it is, 45 and 18 hundredths. Okay, the total bill is 45 and 18 hundredths. And again, that was money, $45.18, matches what we did over here. So once again, either method is fine. Find the tax, find the tip, add it all up, or determine what your rate is going to be and multiply that by the original subtotal, and that'll get you to your total bill. The next area that involves money and percentages is something that's called a markup. Stores do not pay the same amount for a product that a shopper pays. In order to make a profit, stores will add an amount to the selling price. This amount is called a markup. Okay, stores always mark up the price of an item so that they can make a profit. Here is our markup equation. A markup is always a percentage of the wholesale price. The wholesale price is the price that the store paid. Okay, we call that the wholesale price, the price that the store paid. In our example, a computer software retailer uses a markup rate of 40%. Find the selling price of a computer game that cost the retailer $25. And much like the other examples that we looked at today, we can do this 2 different ways. In our first method, we're going to calculate how much the markup is. Markup is a percent of the wholesale price. They told us the rate of markup was 40%. As a decimal, that's going to be 4/10. The price that the store paid was $25, so that's the wholesale price. And we're going to calculate M, the amount of markup. To get the value of m, just multiply 4/10 by 25, and that gives you a value of 10. M equals 10, and this is your markup. The markup is $10. All right, now that's just how much they're going to mark up the price. That's not what the retail price is going to be. The price that we're going to pay, the retail price, well, we're going to have to take the wholesale price of $25 and add $10, which was the markup, and that's going to give us $35. That is the retail price. That's the price that the customer will pay. Okay, so once again, you can do this in two calculations. Figure out how much the markup is, and then add it on to get the retail price. The other way that we can do this, once again, is by using just one calculation. Okay, to get the retail price, we're going to do a percent of the wholesale price. Wholesale price. Okay, so the wholesale price, remember, that was $25. The retail price is what we're trying to figure out. And for the percentage this time, okay, well, if we look back over here, $25 was the wholesale price. We're going to have to pay 100% of that. Plus, the $10 markup was 40% of the wholesale price, which means that the retail price is 140% of the wholesale price. Move the decimal to the left twice, and our rate is going to be 1 4/10. Okay, a markup, 40%. We add that on. 100% plus 40% is 140%, which is 1 4/10. And now if we multiply 1 4/10 by 25, we should get our retail price. 1 4/10 times 25, there's your 35. Okay, the retail price is $35. So once again, you have two different methods. Find the markup and add it on, or determine what the retail price, what percent that's going to be of the wholesale price, and multiply those together to get there in one step.